Good Saturday morning, everyone. It's obviously me, Keith. Welcome to Saturday Morning Fun Time. And let me just say, wow, there's nothing better than to jump on when there's a whole lot of stuff going on. And boy, do we have a whole lot of stuff going on. But first, let me just go ahead and introduce you to everyone we're going to have today with me, because there's no way I can do this by myself. First, we're going to go with Bear Normontag. Hey, buddy.
Hey, how you doing, Keith? There's no truth to that. I've heard you talk and talk and talk and talk.
I'm afraid at this rate, they'll have to trank me to stop me. Having a good Saturday?
So far, yeah. It's Saturday for one, so it's fun time.
And of course, deleted scenes. Hey. Are you going to say something? No. Yes. No.
He's giving us a cold shoulder, folks.
Oh, okay.
Hello. There we are.
Are we delayed?
Morning.
Anyway.
Gotta put me on screen.
And of course, Danny, a.k.a. The Dark Knight.
Hey, everybody.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. Doing well.
Good.
Had to take a little, yeah, thanks. Had to take a little hiatus. I'll talk about it a little bit more later, but I'm back.
Okay.
So.
Always good to have you.
Thank
and
you.
of course, probably one of the coolest parts about, doing this show is doing it with people like Six. Six, how are you?
I'm doing great. I am really excited about all the stuff that's going on and all the topics that we have to discuss today. And yeah, I am pumped. I am loving YouTube right now. I love this community and talking about everything. It's so much fun.
It is, isn't it?
Who let a girl into the He-Man Woman Haters Club?
Well, there's this thing about girls that I need to explain to you about. It kind of makes them fun. So,
I mean, if it helps, I can identify as a woman for today's stream.
Sure.
Now we got two women. Yeah.
Choice, right?
And you know what? Let me just go ahead and introduce him because, without him, I'm definitely next to nowhere. It's Martin.
Hey! Here
How we
trying not to get nuts.
I just wanted to introduce you to make sure that everybody knows you are here and that you are definitely on the job. Makes me feel better having you here, actually having all of you here, because you guys are that good. So
Martin should be on camera.
he looks good. He's a good
He
looking.
does. He's got a great background.
Yeah, you look better than me, Martine.
No
That competition.
way, man.
We don't
No
want
way.
that competition.
You, Danny, I have a picture of you at the side of my mirror, and I look at him, I look at me, I look at him, and I try so hard to look at you, man. To look like you.
You know what? Out of all of us, if we were the A team, yeah, Danny, you're definitely face. You are definitely the one that.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
well,
take it.
You'd
man.
be
Just
Mr. T, Keith, because we're stereotyping casting there. So who would be George Papard?
I don't know. Like I always thought I was more of a Murdoch, but I'll take face.
I was thinking you as Mad Dog. So you it seems he can be George Papard, and I'll be the van because I'm built like.
And I also want to say an incredible welcome to everyone in the chat. Okay, I mean we've got Bill. Hello, Bill. And Keely Chow. Gap. Oh, wait a minute. These two lovely ladies. It's Penny. Hi, Penny.
Yay.
Hey, Mom.
And Cecilia.
Cece.
Cece. King's Portal. Oh, man. I mean, War Monkey. That's one of the monkeys. Hey. And
No flinging. No flinging.
Yeah,
The
please.
lovely Sherry.
Unless it's a super sticker.
and Monkey Jeebus is here. Okay, so that's both monkeys. So and Captain Fandom Nerd.
Hey, Captain.
Wow.
Hey, Captain.
Okay. Oh, and our favorite person with the name of a villain, Dr. Dragon.
Dun, dun, dun.
So we
Retro
have a
Nerd
few stories to get to, and and Retro Nerd Girl. Good morning. Buenos dias to you too, Cece. And yes, it is me, or at least it better be me because I'm wearing his underwear. So. Been waiting to use that one a while. But I think we have a few stories to get to today. And so I think we are starting off with
Drum roll.
I know, right? We're going to begin with a CBR article, Comic Book Resources, the Ferris Bueller spinoff. Okay.
I did not ask for that.
I don't think there's very many people that have asked for this, but hey, you know what? Somebody's willing to put up the money.
Sure.
But let's go ahead and jump into this. So let me see about hold on, let me see about making. There we go. I'll just go ahead and put up the story because I'm that type of guy.
And we're thankful for that.
Yeah. Let's see. Ferris Bueller. There we go. And I'll go ahead and hold on. I'm gonna go ahead and share this. You know what? I should probably hold on. I will make this available to everyone in our private chat.
Okay.
That way, because I'm cool like that.
It's fun being elite people.
You are.
We get it in our.
Well, while you're doing that, I just want to say to whoever made the joke about Cece making me shave, no, she was actually pretty upset when she woke up this morning and turned her head and saw this guy. She just freaked out. So, yeah, she did not make me shave. This was me being petty because she asked me not to specifically shave my head, so I just shaved everything. So
What?
You're not supposed to?
Well, I mean, if you want to, have a private video chat after the show 6, I'm more than happy to give you evidence of that. But
Okay.
And of course, go to Danny's OnlyFans page for this.
actually, I have the video on my OnlyFans page where I am, actually taking care of the manscaping. So if you want to check that out, it only costs you like $100 a month.
That's a
So-
really
Wow.
good deal.
So Cece, what was it like waking up next to Lex Luthor?
Oh my.
I got nothing to say to that.
Well, if she pounded on him enough, he'd be Dr. X in the wheelchair.
Oh, Professor X.
Professor X.
Professor X.
Yes,
Sorry, my
well-
apologies. Professor X.
Well, yes, there is that. Thank you. Yeah, now I can't unsee that.
What
Anyway.
topic are we on, Keith? Are we on the
Yeah,
Ferris
we're
Bueller,
we're gonna jump on to Ferris Bueller's Day Off. And so let me go ahead and share that. And there, and there, and there. So, let's see. Ferris Bueller's Day Off gets a spinoff from Cobra Kai creators. Wow. Paramount Pictures taps the creators of Cobra Kai to produce a Ferris Bueller's Day Off spinoff titled Sam and Victor's Day Off. Well, that's kind of original, isn't it, guys?
Yeah.
I mean,
Paramount
you guys
Pictures-
seem to be way more excited about this news than me. I didn't even know about it until 5 minutes before this stream. That
I'm
was a
just
thing.
now finding out about it. So,
oh, okay.
Yeah. But
I think I heard about it like a couple days ago or something about this happening. But
well, let's see. Paramount Pictures is gearing up to revisit the Ferris Bueller universe with a brand new spin-off film. According to Variety, Paramount is developing Sam and Victor's Day Off, which takes place on the same day as Ferris Bueller's Day Off. The spin-off focuses on Sam and Victor, the previously unnamed garage attendants that take Cameron's dad's prized Ferrari for a joyride in the original film. John Hurwitz, Hayden Schlossberg, and Josh Held, creators of the critically acclaimed Karate Kid sequel series Cobra Kai, are attached to produce the new movie. In
Don't
addition,
get me wrong. I like what they've done, but it's like, are they just going to go like, here's an 80s property. Let's give it to the Cobra Kai guys.
yeah, go
I
ahead.
think so. Hey, I said it sounds just exactly like it. Let's go for that '80s retro look, and let's suck in all the people that have been. Let's face it. A lot of the people who grew up in the '80s have been ignored. I mean, just look how the reactions to what we had to how Star Wars went and other stuff has went, and we've been told this, that, and with the success of '80s, with the Cobra Kai being out of that era. Hey, let's do some member berries.
Well, I guess, but wouldn't it be better to do like a John Hughes universe type of spinoff? I mean, there's all those John Hughes movies, like Weird Science, somebody talked about earlier, and
I
Yeah.
mean, like just make a TV show and put a conglomeration of them together.
There
Well,
was
I mean,
a Weird Science TV series on USA in the
yeah,
90s.
no, but I'm not saying pick one and run with it. I'm saying like treat the John Hughes kind of like Kevin Smith's View Askew-verse.
Well, I think that's where
universe.
I think that's where Kevin got his idea from, because all of the early John Hughes films are all connected.
Right.
Mhm.
So I think it might be interesting to just set a series like Cobra, like a Cobra Kai-ish type series in that universe, not necessarily picking one of those things, like maybe like while Gary and Wyatt's place have a rocket coming up through the roof, that just happens in the background of like whatever adventure we're following at that particular time. Or, maybe they just happen to go to the school that the Breakfast Club, whatever that, I forget the name of the school, but you know what I mean? Just little, since
Right.
you were talking about member berries, I think that would be a better idea than what they're talking. I mean, how long can they stretch? Is this going to be a TV show? Is this going to be a movie?
This
Because-
is going to be a movie. This is
Oh,
a movie.
okay, then that makes more sense, because I was like, you can't
Yeah.
really stretch out that joyride very far,
Well,
long.
I think
Here's
the
my
big
bet
thing.
then.
Go ahead.
My bet with this, they're the reason Abe Farrow, the Sausage King of Chicago, doesn't show up for his lunch.
Oh, now you just sold me. You just sold me on it.
There we
'Cause
go.
Up to now, I was like, I don't know, but that right there, I think you got me.
Well, can they do the quirkiness of John Hughes? I mean, John Hughes definitely had his own style, and that's why he was so popular amongst everybody. That's why he got that Brat Pack going. And we got to remember, he worked for National Lampoon, so you kind of got to get that type of humor.
Right.
Also in there. Are they able to do that in this culture? And
You know what?
That's
I have an idea.
Yeah.
Why don't they just go ahead and get the guy who directed the Spider-Man films for Sony? Since basically that's what Spider-Man Homecoming was originally billed as. It's kind of having a kind of a Ferris Bueller type vibe.
Yeah, I mean, because, gosh, if you think like, because there's so many good, if you just, even if you just stick to the 80s, you in addition to this one, Ferris Bueller and Weird Science. I mean, like, good Lord, John Hughes had so many. I mean, geez, I wouldn't want him to mix Home Alone in with it, but I mean, Pretty in Pink, 16 Candles, Breakfast Club. He actually did National Lampoon's European Vacation. I mean, there's a lot of fun that could be had. I mean, I don't know what the law is with his estate or whatever since he's passed, but I mean, he's just got.
I'm sure
he's got 53 credits to his name.
I'm sure that this is not moving forward without that. I just can't remember the name of the town that it all takes place in because it's a fictional town.
Sherman, Illinois.
Shermer
Shermer
is what it is. So all this takes place. Danny, you might have something. I mean, you might actually have that might even be better than this because, in my opinion, while this does sound good. The hard thing is that you're not going to be able to cast the original actors who played that part. Those guys are older already, and one of them has passed away. So you're definitely going to have to recast the role of the two guys that took the car. Okay? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Sam and Victor. So since you're already recasting, I mean, you're going to run into the danger of if you start having these guys run into... I mean, I like the Abe Froman idea, that is cool. But if you're going to have them run into maybe other characters related to Shermer, Illinois, that's going to be the difficult thing. I mean, everybody's pretty much aged out. Everybody's about
right. That's why I was saying it'd be cool, like if they either you do it in the later, like Cobra Kai does, and that way, people who are still alive, they can, whatever cameo. But I think it might be cooler to set it in the same time frame, but like you hear about the events, or you're like one of the bystanders or maybe whoever stole the car, or joyrides the Ferrari, just flies right by, like the characters, you're like, what's that, or that when Ferris Bueller's singing in the middle during that parade or whatever. I haven't seen the movie in forever, but where he's doing Shake It Up Baby now, maybe, maybe like the two goofballs were following around in this ancillary series. I think there's a lot that could be done with the John Hughes universe. Especially by the guys that did Cobra Kai. I mean, I'd be more interested in that than this. So.
My only thing is the difficulty in trying to match it with what they did with that movie, because you're talking now. This might as well just be like one of those costume historical epics, in so much as that you're going to have to figure out a way of clothing a whole bunch of people for the 80s and keeping the cars a certain way. I mean, this is not going to be that easy unless you're going to do it and shoot it like a television series.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, screw this concept has to be a film because it's an afternoon. Whereas my idea could be another series like Cobra Kai, and you could
I was talking about the difficulty of just making the movie because. Again, think about this. This is 1987 when this film came out. So it's been a long time.
86.
So it's been a long time. I mean, we
are 86. Yeah.
And then one of the hardest things too is trying to get the hairstyles and the makeup styles that they had back then.
Are you kidding me, man? Everything's cyclical. Out here in Vegas, I'm always seeing nuts dressed like the 80s, and I've been seeing more of the 90s. People are a lot of times they'll mistakenly say, "Oh, that's an 80s look," but it's straight out of the 90s. With all the different colored shirts and stuff like that. But I don't know, man. I bet you could do it. You just offer to let the extras keep their clothes, and.
But again,
if we're doing the nostalgia exploitation, ends with them saving Cameron from his father murdering him. Because that's one of the things where it's like the movie acts like everything's gonna be fine. Okay, it's like any adult I know, it's like there's gonna be a murder that night. Like Cameron is not gonna be okay.
I mean, it depends on how well insured the vehicle was, I guess. I don't know.
No way.
no.
Look at you guys.
Oh, no.
Do not fuck with a man's car.
No,
Even if
never.
you're his kid.
Especially when it's rare one like that one's supposed to have been.
Talking as a parent. I love my kids. I really do. But yeah, if I had invested that kind of money, there's definitely going to be some difficulties as soon as I got home.
Well, there was a reason why I never taught my kids how to drive a stick, because I didn't want them driving my Mustang.
You know what I love about being able to drive a stick shift? It's like it's a free anti-theft device, because no millennial or Gen Zer has any clue how to drive one, and I love it. It's just, you know.
Yep.
Wow, you guys have done a bang up job. No, seriously, I mean it. You guys have done a bang up job in really just reconceiving this, or at least making it better than probably even the original pitch. And it's not like these people behind Cobra Kai are slouches. You know, they know what they're doing. But wow, they should hire you guys.
Well, I do.
Or they could just
write.
get the ideas.
I am writing scripts. I am working, getting my shit produced. So this is. I'm halfway joking, but I'm just going. It's like if I was going to exploit elements of it, these were kind of some of the things you would do.
Wow.
Because there's stuff that isn't really expanded on. So you can cast whoever you want as Abe Froman. I guarantee you he'll at least show up in some capacity. Because
is Six here? Is Six here?
Yeah, she's here.
Okay.
But you know what? There is one element from Ferris Bueller's Day Off that I wouldn't mind them also taking advantage of, because it's an actual story element that wasn't really highlighted very well. But if you've listened to the commentary track for the movie, you realize that there's an extra story being told during the movie that explains Charlie Sheen's character. Okay. Mm-hmm. Turns out that Ferris's mom is a real estate agent, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's Charlie Sheen's parents, who she's entertaining and showing houses to.
Interesting.
And that family has a lot of difficulties, as you could see with their son winding up at the police station. And so there's this like loose thread with this family that has a lot of money, and that culminates in their son winding up there at the police station with their with their daughter.
You know what? Because didn't he say it was like his problem because he was defending his sister because people called her a whore? They weren't across the sister. There you go.
It's there's some stuff there. There's some stuff there. Like I said, it's been a while since I've seen Ferris Bueller, and it's been an even longer time since I've watched it with the commentary track. But there are definitely some things that they could do with this spinoff movie that would be kind of interesting. You guys, though, you guys have sold me the ticket, not this. I mean, you guys have sold me.
Well, mind you, I'm not the one writing this, so you know they could not do any of the stuff I'm talking about. I do wonder though, are either of them going to talk to the camera? Because that was one of the interesting things that they had in that original movie, was he was explaining, you know, this is how you get off of this. Are they going to, like, at the beginning, you explain, like, you know, this is how we run things, and it's like, and we want to have some fun, and then it's like, oh my god, a Ferrari.
You know what?
I mean, if they're going to make it fair, there has to be fourth wall breakage, I think.
There has to be.
Yeah. That was such an element to this film. So,
fourth wall breakage is definitely something that needs to happen. Whoa, Shinatsky. Hello.
He snuck in. The great high.
I've been
just
here a while. You just realized it?
I'm sorry.
No, I knew you were here.
Yeah.
I just heard the indication that somebody had entered. So, you know. It's great having you, buddy.
One more little thing.
Too.
The best post-credit scene you could ever do. Do the Ferris Bueller thing. It's like, where are you doing this together? Show's over, and then it cuts to the reverse shot, and it's them. Oh, okay. And they exit out the house.
You know what? I think all you guys should just go ahead and pitch that because you sold me.
We wrote the movie.
Yeah,
the movie's just been written.
All
I know.
you
Just
guys-
just a little off topic. Did anyone ever see the Goldberg episode where Charlie Sheen reprised his role and they're in the jail?
No, I never
Yeah.
watched that series. I need to get on that. A lot of people have recommended that to me.
Between that episode and the Highlander centric episode they had.
Oh.
Well, yeah, Bill Barkley, but first of all, Ferris Bueller breaks a fourth wall in the Ferris Bueller's Day Off, so it's being consistent with that. And She-Hulk broke the fourth wall in the comic books long before, when did she come out? The 60s or 70s or something like that? So,
No, She-Hulk was late 80s.
When the
are you sure? I thought it was
series was on. That's when they created her because they were afraid of CBS making a female Hulk.
Okay. Well, anyways, when in the earliest iterations of her comics, she'd be breaking the fourth. They'd have her over ads with, text bubbles and stuff like that, or in the editor letters, at the back of the comic, and all kinds of things, and actually in the stories. So,
Monkey, I will say this. Parker Lewis was a much better television show than the Ferris Bueller television show. That Ferris Bueller television show stunk. It did. You cannot tell me that the Ferris Bueller TV show, which had Jennifer Aniston, playing Sloane, you cannot tell me that was any good. Parker Lewis was far more entertaining.
Well, that's just it. I mean, Parker Lewis Can't Lose had a little bit more of that John Hughes feel to it. Where they got it. They got where he was coming from. The Ferris Bueller show. I don't think it even lasted a full season. It was like
Parker Lewis had 2 or 3 seasons. I do remember.
No. Parker Lewis had about 4, I think, but I'm talking about Ferris Bueller didn't even last a full season.
Wait, so there was a Ferris Bueller television show?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, Danny.
I missed that boat.
Google that because
You didn't miss much.
Charlie
You lucked out.
Charlie Slatter played Ferris Bueller. He looked. None of these actors who they had looked anything like the actors from the movie, which is part of the reason why the show didn't do very well. And they tried to be smart with how they did the show, and it didn't come off. It did not come off very well. Now Parker Lewis had it while it was kind of like Ferris Bueller, it had its own vibe. And was a lot closer to the kind of quick humor in certain aspects that you would get with.
It was like fair. It was kind of like, I don't know. I also felt like if I'm thinking of the same show, kind of like a Saved by the Bell-ish. Well, I guess it's kind of like Ferris Bueller because there's breaking the fourth wall in
Parker Lewis,
Zach Morris, and the Parker Lewis would do that. And it was in the 90s. This is when I was in like middle school, I think, when this came out.
Yeah, this is before Fox became a network.
Yeah,
this is one of the shows that had Fox become a network.
Yeah, and Google says She-Hulk first appeared in 1980. So yes, I was wrong, and so was the 70s guy. So it was 1980.
I didn't say anything, so I abstained. Well, I mean, it's just like when they tried to do a Blue Thunder TV show, and Airwolf came out at the same time.
Oh yeah,
Airwolf kind of a copy. Far better, yeah. I mean, whenever the copycats were actually doing a better job than this is what was supposed to be a sequel or whatever.
Hey, Zach.
I never actually watched Airwolf, but the thing I found absurd when I was, because I like looking into things. Finding out that during their last season, they didn't even have the chop and they were just literally reusing footage from previous episodes.
Oh yeah, look at who the creator was.
Shit.
Look at who the creator was of that show. He was often noted for reusing footage. It's the same guy who created Battlestar Galactica, and that's how they got around all of that expensive footage that they had created was by reusing footage for various other episodes. He often did that. So I wasn't that surprised, and to me, again, I enjoyed Airwolf far better because the story. Look, for one thing, the story, it had a story that hooked you into watching it versus, Blue Thunder, which is, hey, we're cops, we have a super helicopter, and let's just start, acting like a regular cop show to bust people. And it's like, so you can listen into conversations, what never made any sense is by having that helicopter, you can't be a normal cop show.
No.
Because you can actually do stuff that legally you shouldn't be able to, like listen into conversations and see through walls and other things. And so you can bust people quicker, Whereas Airwolf was like, it's about a guy who steals a helicopter because he wants access to the information to find his brother. And so
how
the
about
people
this? How about this? You make it a series about the dangers of the militarization of the police. Like, we have all this power, and then some of them start misusing it.
Well, that's
what the movie was about.
Yeah,
that was the movie is completely about. Yeah, Malcolm McDowell being the bad guy.
Is this? It's Courtney, the same,
Hi, Courtney.
the one with the long that I always called court balls. Is it that one?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then, hi, Courtney.
Let's see. Let's get to our second story. I will get to sharing.
Yes,
screen on
yes,
that
use
one.
this to me. Yeah, use this to me, Alec Baldwin.
You screw up on my plan, Alec Baldwin.
What? Oh God! Why are we talking about this man?
That's what Gary had up for us. So
Why
I
is
guess
everyone so
Well, you're
fucking
getting
stupid?
demonetized, and we may not stay up. So
let's see. It says that Alec Baldwin shoots himself in the foot during Rusk interview with Chris Cuomo. Doubles down on claim he did not pull the trigger after FBI finds otherwise. So let's see. This is Alec Baldwin recently made some fairly inflammatory comments during a interview with former CNN anchor Chris Cuomo. Chief amongst them, his claim that his status as one of Rusk's producers precluded him from being held legally responsible for killing Helena Hutchins.
What? What the hell is that word salad?
I have no idea.
He's deluded. He's stuck on himself. He thinks he's better than everyone else. He thinks he can kill someone and get away with it. Because guess what, people? When you pull the hammer back on a revolver and pull the trigger, the fucking bullet comes out. And apparently this guy is too dim to get that. He's so high and mighty and stuck on himself. He's had people surrounding him for years telling him he's a god, that he actually believes it.
Here's what I don't understand, since we are talking about this. I don't understand why he feels the need to lie about pulling the trigger when it was supposed to be a prop gun and you're supposed to pull the trigger anyway and all this other stuff. And I mean, I think about The Crow, the movie The Crow, when Brandon Lee died on accident. I mean,
this is different.
Accidents happen. How is it different though? Really? I think it's different because the
Crow?
times have changed. Hold up. I think it's different because the times have changed. People don't like, a lot of people don't like Alec Baldwin. And plus he's kind of set himself up, and I mean, what was that one tweet everybody was sharing of his that did not age well, about killing somebody? Do you guys know the one I'm talking about?
Guns don't kill people. Alec Baldwin does.
No. It was a tweet.
Said.
It was something he tweeted years and years ago. And a lot of people that don't like Alec Baldwin, you like, most people I know, for whatever reason, don't like Alec Baldwin. I don't know the man, and I can separate the art from the artist for the most part, unless you're R. Kelly. And I don't understand what all the hate and vitriol is, because, like, so if you look at The Crow, the issue with The Crow was it wasn't exactly the same, but it was similar. The blank was not cleaned properly, so basically he got killed with shrapnel. In this, I guess it was an actual bullet. Is that what they found?
It's an actual live round.
And here's the thing.
Different.
Right, but actors don't check their guns at all. That's what you have. That's what you have. The prop master who works for the prop master that actually does the gun. I forget the name of the.
Now,
I haven't talked about this stuff. Infrared, the armor or whatever. They're supposed to take care of that. That way, when the actors go to pick up their weapons, all they have to do is all they're supposed to do is their job is act. They're not supposed to break their character and think about that. I mean, and I think had this been an accident with somebody who was like more beloved in Hollywood, like clear across the board, or somebody who wasn't so politically polarizing, I think I don't think people would still be talking about it the way they are today. Like I certainly didn't expect this.
May I say
SAG
something?
Yeah, I'm done. Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
SAG rules.
Well,
and the things that they say in their documents, and this article quotes as well, treat all guns as if they're loaded and do not point them at anyone.
Right. Well,
that's
you have that rule. Treat it like it's loaded with live rounds.
Mm-hmm.
Second, don't point it at anything.
Mm-hmm.
Furthermore, you can see on some badly shot movies where the camera is not at the right angle and the two-dimensional of the picture stops helping you, and you can see the actors are never pointing the gun; they're pointing slightly.
All right. Dork, you don't know.
I knew he was
going
to come in.
You really
'cause I
don't
saw
know
the name.
shit about working on a film set. Every actor is accountable for what is put in their hand, no more than the person that handed it to him. Every actor is expected to check that weapon.
Okay.
And he's been working with weapons
I'm
he's been working with weapons for 35 fucking years in the film industry. He should know better. Also, that weapon was used inappropriately by the armorer herself the previous day using live ammo in a prop gun. Now, prop guns 90% of the time are not real guns. But in these kinds of weapons, they're revolvers.
No, the armorer should be the one who's
no, there's no question. She's in trouble.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There's no question. That's part of the story, because when you get to it, you're going to get to that. But when it comes to the responsibility of the actor, they are fully fucking accountable. And
my understanding is
hold on. I don't have much time here. When he points a weapon, they're trained not to aim that at people. He pointed that right at her, hitting her, killing her, and wounding the director behind her.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he was pointing it directly kind of at the camera because they were trying to get the shot.
No, he was pointing it right at her, right to where her view
and you should point it at the camera.
And you should never point directly at a person. That is something every actor is taught. He has no excuse for what he did. And absolutely, even if he's not found guilty of negligent homicide, that he should be sued into the fucking ground and never have a career after this, because that was absolute irresponsibility with a weapon. I've been on stage, I've worked on films, and accountability with weapons is one of the single most important fucking things you do when you are working on a film. Everybody has to be paying attention, because even a blank can fucking kill you.
That's exactly what happened to Brandon Lee. It was a blank.
No, that's not what killed him. What killed him was a dummy round that broke loose out of the shell and lodged in the barrel. And then they put a full double load to create more flame when the gun went off. So he got hit with a .357 Magnum with a double load.
I mean, okay. Wow. I guess I'm grossly misinformed, because that's not what I thought my entire life.
Look, man,
I remember
this is stuff that is in my zeitgeist, and stuff
he was killed on April Fool's Day, and I remember waking up watching the news while I was getting ready for school.
I went to his funeral,
and wow, okay. And
was John Eric Hexum the one that shot his brains
That's what I
out
said. That's what I said. I said John Eric Hexum was fucking around on set, pointed a blank pistol at his head, and pulled the trigger. And the wad killed him. And I don't know if that was a paper or wax wad, because they were both used back then.
Yep.
But either way it goes, even if that wasn't there, there's a good chance that it was just the explosive part of the round. that close to his head could have killed him.
Mhm.
But he was actually struck with the wadding within the blank round. But yeah, I got to make this clear, really clear. Yes, he is culpable in this, both financially and legally, for what happened on that set.
So, I mean, I guess I can't have an opinion on this. That's why I hate talking about
Opinion
this.
doesn't
It's
matter
such a
when there's
hot
facts.
button
I'm
topic.
talking
Matter
facts.
more than opinions.
Facts and
You can have
opinions
an
don't
opinion that you
blend.
fly.
Oil and water. So I just needed to make it clear that the fact is that he pointed the gun when he wasn't supposed to at a person, never do it, and he pulled the hammer back. And in order to fire a double action pistol, you either squeeze the trigger and pull the hammer back, and that's called fanning, or you pull the hammer back and you squeeze the trigger. But no matter what, a trigger pull was done, and he's lying. Absolutely, 100%.
Well, then
lying.
that's why he's lying. Okay.
Yeah, and that's what the FBI took 5 fucking months to say about a pistol that everybody knows something about if you're an armorer or work with guns. I played with that pistol myself. It's absolutely a lie from the get-go with him. He's trying to point culpability elsewhere and away from him, and he's a victim. And the fact is, look, he's got to live with this the rest of his life, that he may have accidentally killed this person, but he's legally culpable for it and financially.
I mean, to go off of what this is a Cowboy 6 gun. Most of the time, people never put full 6 rounds in there because the hammer would be on top of the bullet. So there'd be one round usually empty in the chamber, or the cylinder, I should say. Then you'd have the half cocked. That's where you could spin the barrel around. So
You're half cocked.
I am half cocked, I tell you.
Hey, Latino Slant, I got to go, but goddamn it, you can punch me in the face anytime you want, Paulie. I love you guys.
Hey,
even
care,
you know I'm coming down hard on you, Dork. But the fact is this is something that's in my wheelhouse.
No, that's fine. It
has nothing.
Wish
to do with
I hadn't said
opinion.
anything. I could argue that, but I don't want to. I really.
Well, honestly,
don't,
you were the one who didn't even want to talk about it.
I don't. That's what I'm saying. So yeah,
it's
sorry.
news. It's entertainment news, and it impacts what we do. Yeah, I'm out of here. Bye, guys. Bye, lovely Gary. Bye, Anima.
Gary.
Bye, boss.
Goodbye, Gary.
You're okay, Gary.
Fuck you guys.
Fuck you harder.
Don't open that door.
No. Don't do something that Gary might actually go, yes, please, too.
I have that tweet that you were referring to, and I'm just going to give a little backstory. In September 2017, law enforcement officer killed a homeless veteran outside a 7-Eleven store. The incident was caught on video. Eventually, a probe was found, the homicide to be justified. And the tweet that Alec Baldwin put out said, "I wonder how it must feel to wrongfully kill someone."
That's the one.
That was the tweet that got brought.
Man, that aged like some
up.
People.
Yeah. And I also wanted to say that I heard Script Doctor say, I've never been on a film set. I don't know anything about guns, but I know Script Doctor. And he said multiple times that if an actor is handed a weapon and the actor checks the chamber, that the armorer is responsible for taking that weapon away from the actor, rechecking it to make sure that it's safely loaded or whatever, and then handing it back to the actor. The actor is not supposed to check the chamber after the armorer has handed it to them.
And that's
Script
what
Doctor say that.
That's what I've read and been told as well, but I don't. Hey guys, did you watch She-Hulk? Oh my God, that was so funny.
Well, about that,
somebody was asking about
that might actually be funny
in the chat earlier. So here it is. It's a Dragon Ball Z shirt. Whoever was asking in the chat. So there you go.
I think the reason why this is getting such traction is not because of the event, but what Alec has been doing since then. And every time he opens his mouth up, whoever his lawyer is probably pounding his head on the desk. So, and I don't know why he has not pulled Alex to the side and say, quit going on these shows.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to be on these shows. Yeah, stop talking.
If I was a PR guy, I'd tell him, stop this or I quit. Because I cannot save you from yourself if you're going to keep doing this.
Well, look, if the facts of the matter is if, there's a full FBI investigation, if he is as culpable as Gary passionately believes, and he's not going to get away with it. I mean, they're just.
Right.
I mean, they'll make an example out of him, if anything, and like, I think just because like it seems like he's a very polar. He's like Hillary Clinton, man, and I don't know how he got that way, but he is, as far as being a polarizing political person.
He put himself
and he's not even
there.
a politician. No, yeah, it's all his making. It's all his fault, and it's what you guys were just saying is because he won't. Much like me right now, shut the fuck up.
You're a lot more charismatic and likable.
Yeah. Far more.
It's that Lex Luthor look too that got us scared.
I should have went on that tirade with.
Remember, Dork, you haven't murdered anyone on a film set, so you're better than Alec Baldwin by default.
Well, I mean, does snuff films count?
Doesn't murder
you have the purpose to do that. Everyone understood what was going on. Even the other person that died.
Yeah.
Well, Chernetsky, I wouldn't use the word murder. That implies intention, and intention is something we cannot prove.
This would be what, like involuntary manslaughter?
Manslaughter.
Well,
involuntary.
Because you have different degrees of homicide, which of course goes into manslaughter is still technically in the homicide category, but it's unintentional homicide.
And my Mexican internet decided again.
I thought you were in
caused the death of
Indiana or Vermont or something.
Well, he's in Indiana, but he's some reason he's using the Mexican internet server. I don't know why.
It's a Mexican neighborhood.
Yeah.
Oh, and that, you know what? That reminds me. That brings us to today's sponsor, which is Internet Access. No, I'm just kidding. We don't have those yet.
Who would sponsor us?
With Alec Baldwin, speaking of dicks, today's sponsor is Manscaped.
That's what I should have said. You know what's funny is I you know what, I probably shouldn't share that personal information. Never mind. All right, continue.
We love personal information.
Just remember this, Dork. Sometimes the best thing to do is to say nothing. Then say something and embarrass yourself.
Oh, but I love to embarrass myself.
We're YouTubers. That's our job.
Yeah, I've always had from a very young age, because my mom loved Dean, Martin and Jerry Lewis. So I grew up on a lot of Jerry Lewis, and I remember watching an interview with him when I was a very young kid, where he said that all he tried to do was make people laugh, even if it was laughing at him. So he would do stuff like, just run into things or, pretend to do stuff. So when I was a kid, and my mom's in the chat, she can attest to this, I would do goofy shit like that all the time. We'd be walking, and I would just look at her while we're talking, fully well aware there's a pole. And then I would just sell it like I was in wrestling, like hitting it, and just to get people to laugh. And when I was a really little kid. So I don't mind embarrassing myself at all.
I don't mind embarrassing you either, Dork, so we're in agreement.
We love embarrassing you. Glad to help.
Yeah.
Okay, if Polly's going to just keep saying poor thing, look at him. I'm just going to let me shine the light on it. Come on, let's get it.
Hey, Dork, if you want to keep digging the hole, I'll be here all day.
Oh, yeah.
Well, look. Let's just get to the next story, because I think we've discussed the Baldwin situation and how he's talking himself.
Baldwin.
I was avoiding that one.
Don't make me punish you.
No, you don't want to do the dad joke thing. That has a very bad effect on our viewers.
And Keith's a dad, so he knows.
Yeah,
I'm a dad. I know. I have my fair share of those.
Father
too.
of four that I know of.
So let's go to our next story. This next one is about the Embracer Group, and wow. Let me just look. I'm gonna go ahead and say this right up front. Six, you seem to know a lot more about what this entire update is than I do.
Yeah, we this channel, she was broke it first, I guess, a bit ahead of everybody else because of Six.
Zach's did. I sent all I did was send a link very excitedly to Zach's, because Zach's is my Rings of Power, Lord of the Rings go-to guy.
Okay.
And he went live with it, and thank God Gary with a J jumped on, and the two of them dove right in, and then Pop Culture Minefield ran with it and invited me on, and It's
and you
been,
were on the Midnight's Edge. I saw you talking about it a little bit, right?
I go on Midnight's Edge After Dark.
Oh,
I can't
okay.
remember if we talked about it
Yeah.
there though, but I do.
No, you
Midnight's
did.
Edge,
You did.
Friday
Yeah.
talked about it for Midnight's Edge in the morning.
Yeah.
Oh, there's Zaxi in the chat.
Oh, by
So
the
it's
way,
exciting. The reason that I'm so excited about it is because I feel like it's potential and it's possibility for something really cool to happen. Now, what they do with it, who knows? It's mostly a gaming company. They do tabletop games, video games, and not. I can't even think of any type of TV show or
Six.
Can
They
you
also
imagine
own
like
Dark Horse Media, so we might actually get some Lord of the Rings comics through Dark Horse.
Well, I
Right,
wouldn't hold my
right.
breath on the comics because, and that's actually what they were talking about on Midnight's Edge was they were kind of debating whether or not they could do comic books because the book rights have been retained by the estate, but they can do anything but books.
Well, they can do
haven't clearly defined what encompasses books, right?
they can
Wasn't
do
that the
other
thing?
books. They can't reprint the stories that Tolkien wrote, but they could do
right.
kids books. They could do, different types of offshoots.
Okay. Well, then
just
with
They
Dark
have
Horse.
role-playing game books, all that.
Yeah, see,
Yeah.
well, that's what gets me the most excited. Because I was just talking to my kids last night because sometimes we'll talk about, I'll tell them about me as a kid, and what they didn't know that I used to play this game called Vampire the Masquerade, which is a role-playing game much like Dungeons and Dragons.
Live
And so-
action role player though. It's
Live, well, not always. I mean, I didn't. play the
LARPing's a different subset.
Yeah, I didn't do the LARPing version.
I used to LARP Vampire the Masquerade.
Yeah, but I didn't ever go to I was a kid. We had the books and stuff, and because I was trying to get into something. Anyway, totally getting off the track here. My point is, I was excited about the possibility of them making kind of like a role playing game out of the Lord of the Rings.
There already
universe.
exists a role-playing game for Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, but the fact that I don't know about it means that a company, not a big enough company like this one, has put it out,
Yeah.
made it
A
successful.
company just recently came out with a D&D 5th edition Lord of the Rings game.
Yeah, same company, Free League. The One Ring is what it's called.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well, then,
let's go ahead and get into a little bit of what the situation is with the Embracer Group, because it looks like they had a very recent video of their discussing their financials, and looks like Six found some information related to the company that had done the deal with Embracer to get them the rights. So Six.
Yeah, this is it was a 2-hour, 45-minute, it's called Interim Report for Q1, April through June 2022. And it was it was streamed live on August 18, which was Thursday. And I believe it was Thursday morning around midnight or 1 a.m. when we all kind of found out about this. And initially when I had seen this, and I sent it to Zach's when I found it, and I thought, okay, I'm going to need to slog through this thing. It's going to be torture. I'm going to listen to it on 2X. And I ended up not being able to listen to it on 2X because their accents are so strong. I really kind of struggled to understand what they were saying. So I had to listen to it on normal speed. But I assumed that they were just going to be talking about April through June. Well, they weren't. That was where they released the whole the acquisitions. And so once I got to that part is when it got really interesting. And like I had said, I think we were talking about it backstage, and I had talked about the two interesting things. So let me share my screen. Is it okay if we play a couple clips from it, Keith?
You know what? You know what? Hold on. I'll let you go ahead and share. Although we're gonna have to break it up every so often because I don't know.
They're not
I'd
long
say
clips.
10 seconds per what we do.
Sure. Okay. Let's see.
Hello, Tim. And baked bean. Baked bean.
Okay. Okay, you got that?
Hold on. Let's see.
Oh shoot! Did I share my audio?
I got it.
I think I forgot to share my audio. I only do this when I do karaoke, and it's been a while since I did karaoke.
Yeah, the whole Embracer group, it's crazy. Like they have 120 different studios according to their website.
You know, the amount of money that they have and the amount that they've spent up to now, again, I have yet to change my mind. I think they're up to something bigger. I think they're building to something.
Well, it's probably just another on the long line of acquisitions because they're basically, like every other thing they're working on, becoming one of the big, huge media conglomerate companies. Because they have THQ, which back in the day was a reasonably big video game publisher before it went under, and this company bought the rights to their name.
Yeah, they've been going on a shopping spree for the last several months.
And two of their biggest acquisitions, they did both of those this year. So 3 now. This is their third one. But they did the whole deal for let's see, and what was the name of that gaming company? Asmodee. So that was earlier this year, as well as
that was actually, it was in December of last year, and they paid $3.11 billion for that.
And if I remember right, Asmodee bought out Fantasy Flight Games, which is based here in the Twin Cities. So it's kind of interesting. And they have the rights to stuff like the Star Wars role-playing games.
Yeah. Now I remember. Oh, my goodness. Okay, see, this gets bigger every time I think about this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the Dark Horse was purchased also in December of last year too. So
yeah, so they did those right then and there. Oh my goodness. Okay. I've caught up now. My brain is now caught up.
Okay, so this first little clip that we're going to watch, this is one of the people from Keith. How do you pronounce the name of the company that they just bought it from?
This is the Saul
Zans.
Yeah, Saul Zans. This woman on screen, she works for them, and then the next gentleman, he also works for them. So they're just, I thought it was interesting how involved they were in this investor call or meeting or whatever. But anyway, this is they're going to be talking about the Rings of Power.
Yes, and then most recently we have the Amazon series, which is about to launch in just a couple weeks, which is based.
Because we gotta count.
Yeah, and what this graph is, they just kind of went briefly through the whole timeline of how the Saul Gantz company got involved and the whole, just kind of a little backstory on Lord of the Rings and media.
Is this guy doing the Will Wheaton look like a contest here or something?
He is.
No,
okay.
Don't compare him to that.
Yeah, no.
Okay,
he does not look like a douche.
Yeah.
He's just European.
On both the New Line Cinema films and the books, the underlying books. So it's a combination project of sorts.
Okay, so that baffles me. Why is he saying that Rings of Power is based on the Lord of the Rings movies? He's saying that the story is based on a combination of the movies and the appendices.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, that says now you guys are completely changing everything about this show, because the movies haven't even happened in the timeline yet. So what are you pulling out of the future to put onto this show? So this is another. I'm sorry.
Not only that, they're focusing on characters that were never Tolkien.
Some of them weren't, and others are complete fabrications. I mean, they gave what's his name, the guy who was supposed to destroy the ring. They gave him a sister that never existed in the stories, and they're going to focus on her. Yeah. So I mean, that again, I agree. That is very curious for him to be saying it like that. Now, there are a few people who worked on the Peter Jackson films who have been hired to work on this show, but not enough to say that those productions were tied. You know, you can go to work for whomever, that doesn't make it the official capacity of the people who actually were running things.
Right.
And with what Peter Jackson has recently stated, there could have been a connection there, but they, Amazon screwed up because after initially contacting him, they never sent him anything. They were going to try to run scripts and stuff by him. And so aside from the initial contact, hey, we're making a TV series. We want to know if it'd be all right if we kind of contact you and have you just go through a few things. Peters thought, yeah. And then he heard nothing.
They ghosted him.
So
like a bad boyfriend.
And in response, I'm pretty sure he made that statement to basically just set up a landmine for them to walk on because he knows what's going to come. So it's just like, hey, everybody, guess what? They didn't do anything.
Well,
a couple of weeks later, boom.
I don't think he would really have to set anything up. I mean, I'm sure if he was actually helping them out, he'd go ahead and say, look, Christopher Tolkien, it was reported that even Christopher Tolkien didn't like a lot of what Peter Jackson had done. Mm-hmm. But personally, I think he'd like even less what Amazon is doing. Because whereas Peter Jackson and Philippa Boyens and Fran Walsh came at it from trying to be very respectful to what Tolkien had put together and making sure not to bog down the story with any personal politics, anything of the time, and not to try to, at the very least, not to make up any characters, so that all the characters that you see are actual characters from that book and are from the time period, very important, where they are meant to be, which is not the case with Amazon and the TV series. They are doing almost everything that you shouldn't do when adapting stuff, almost as if they're looking at the Alex Kurtzman book of adapting a particular IP, which the two showrunners are actually former people from Bad Robot. So
it was Salty Texas Sea who first made me take note of how they're trying to tie in with the Lord of the Rings to selling this show. And he had found on Amazon, this was months ago, he found on Amazon how they were re-releasing the Lord of the Rings trilogy book in book form, and they were using Rings of Power to sell it.
Yeah.
They didn't have the cover art posted yet, but they had Rings of Power in the title on the Amazon link. So Salty Texas Sea, he initially thought that it was books of Rings of Power. And I kind of looked at it a little more closely, and it turns out that it was that they were just re-releasing the books. So that was like the first sign that they're really going to try to Lord of the Rings it up in there and try to get people, oh, you like Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings? Well, look what this shiny thing we have over here is. It's just like this. It's, you may as well watch it if you liked the Peter Jackson films. So, but that was just another shit in the can.
Hubris is amazing. Hubris is fucking amazing because people behind this genuinely think that in their little bubble that
we're dumb
because it says Lord of the Rings. Just because of that will automatically have everyone loving it because all that matters is the name. Doesn't matter we have anything to actually do with any of the actual books.
And if you listen to some of the interview from these people, all they're doing is shitting on Tolkien.
Yeah.
Tolkien is this, Tolkien is that, blah, blah, blah. And the fans of Tolkien are this.
You know why they can get away with it is because, and again, I hate to crap on this guy, but he did it. It came out of his mouth. It's the exact same thing that happened with Kevin Smith and He-Man. He shat all over the original series and the people that made it, and got away with it, So that is part of what you do in these instances. You can find a way of crapping all over the originator of something if you think that if you are able to explain to the audience, hey, we're going to do it better. We're going to make it more socially acceptable. We're going to make it something that everybody can get into, not like it wasn't before, but hey, I'm doing it now, and oh man, God, these people piss me off. Okay, I'm sorry.
Well,
I'm sorry.
That's just it. These people don't have respects or reverence to what came before, or even knowledge of it. Well, and then they're going to go out there and play in the sandbox And instead of making sandcastles, they're going to crap in there like a cat, thinking it's the world's biggest litter box.
They
And
think
that's
the
the whole-
surface level only matters because that's how they are in real life. It
Yeah,
doesn't matter if what we're making is any good. It's that it looks like we're good for making it.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. It's participation trophies all across the board. We got participation trophies, and look, we're victors, and we can do this. And it's like, no.
Yeah.
We fixed it. This thing that has lasted for over 50 years is in over 100 languages and is one of the best-selling books of all time. That was crap. We're making something better. Like, no.
Oh,
Yeah. It never had a true following. We want to make sure we can get a real following now. What?
Yes,
Okay,
it
so
was
this
so
next-
terrible. They paid $250 million to license appendices. Yeah, that would be like, imagine spending that kind of money to get the appendices for, I don't know, fucking Harry Potter.
And then what did they spend? Did they spend $1 billion per season or $1 billion for all 5
It's
seasons?
$250 million because it's like $500 million for the like licensing the first season. I think it's
No, I
like
mean
$1
production
billion
costs.
total for everything, like all 5 seasons.
Oh,
Well, and a lot of that will be, spread out over time, because what you're doing is you're buying, you're building all of sets. A majority of your initial cost for any television show is usually spent within the first season, usually the pilot and a few episodes in. So, you have all these costumes, you have all these areas already built, you have the sets. So over time, it quote unquote should get cheaper, but that depends on whether or not people actually are watching this in sufficient enough numbers to make it a good investment. And personally, I'll tell you right now, no, I'm not going to watch this.
No,
I don't like being lied to personally with my entertainment. I'll just go ahead and continue to watch Top Gun Maverick. There you go.
Yeah.
Okay, I second that. Do we have a vote?
I'm definitely going to watch Rings of Power. 100% going to watch it.
You know what? More power to you. More power to you, because I'd be willing to help offset the cost of any headache medicine you're going to need.
Yeah.
It is. This is hazard. You should get hazard pay for doing that.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't do it because when I saw The Last Jedi, thankfully it was on Netflix. It took me twice as long to watch it because about every 5 to 10 minutes I had to pause it so I could go through a rant. I cannot afford to do that with this show.
I'm at least going to watch the pilot, but I watched the pilot of Wheel of Time, and I was so excited about that because I read the books.
God, my fucking sympathies.
And then I just watched the pilot. I know. I keep getting let down by entertainment. I'm trying to not. I can't help but get super excited when I see that cool stuff is going to happen.
You know what? I know this is going to be bad because I know Gary's going to make fun of me, but if you don't want to be let down, just check out something that's already happened, like say, I don't know, Babylon 5.
Oh,
Yep.
Babylon 5.
Babylon 5.
Oh, I can
Well, I
see
hope
my
we're not
DVDs
disappointing
from
you,
where I'm
Sid.
sitting.
Hope we're not
Buffy the
disappointing
Vampire
you.
Slayer, Angel,
Yes.
Firefly.
I will watch the
Person of
series on
interest.
the condition that we do it as part of the stream to help grow the channel. That's why we'll do it. I will suffer through it to help grow the channel.
I don't
Because
think
the
I
one
hate
thing
myself
know, the best entertainment that comes out of these series is not the series themselves. It's everyone else going, what the fuck just happened?
So Chinatsky is more than willing to scrape his balls over a cheese grater to give us entertainment.
We thank you for your sacrifice.
We do.
Yes, which is more than what these assholes are going to ever do for you.
Yeah.
They're like,
Hey.
we got our money, bitch.
Whoa,
Amazon
whoa.
money.
You know
Oh,
what?
you're talking about them. Okay. I thought you were talking about us.
I can only do so much, Hey, Dork, you're right. Farscape. That's another good one.
And Firefly,
Oh.
War Monkey, absolutely. Yeah.
You know,
Anyway.
Okay, so this next clip that I want to show, this gentleman who's on screen, he's kind of the MC
Okay.
of the Q&A portion, and the next gentleman who's going to be on screen is Lars how do you say his name? Wingafors, and he is the founder and CEO of Embracer Group.
Okay.
About all of this, I mean, there's so many questions that we could ask. How long have you had eyes on the Tolkien rights, for example, to start with?
Gotta be careful.
Yeah, how long did they?
Well, I think we all know Tolkien, and I think we all have been, playing the games, reading the books, and watching the movies. But this opportunity came about, I think, like half a year ago.
Yeah, so about, I think it was February, was the first time that I saw that they were looking for a buyer. And it was mentioned in the articles, the industry trades, that Amazon was probably going to buy it. And I think we all talked about it. Well, yeah, probably Amazon's going to buy it. So that fits with his timeline.
It's been a complex process. I think we wouldn't, be able to do it. But it was a complex situation, and I can't go into the details.
Yeah, like the financial details. Are we eventually going to find out exactly how much they paid, Keith?
Eventually, that paperwork has to come up someplace. Okay. Eventually, that information will get out there. But as of right now, it's embarrassing if it's true that they paid $720 million compared to the $2 billion that was being asked for.
Yeah.
That is a steal. I mean,
yeah, I've seen 720 million. I've seen 770 million in the CNBC article that you guys covered.
Yeah.
The other day, they said like 572.8 million.
Geez.
So
I think maybe it's a matter of that they were willing to basically, they had the cash they could set now. Like it wouldn't be gradual payments.
Sorry,
I had to run back. Sorry, I had to run back over here just to make this terrible joke. Maybe whoever runs the finances thought that $6 billion in Swedish money. They forgot. They thought it was more than $2 billion in American money. They thought they were getting this deal. I'll be back. I got to finish what I'm doing. Sorry.
Okay.
Can you repeat that? I think it was Shanatsky talking.
Let's see. What was the start of the point?
We were talking about the cost.
The cost.
Yeah. Oh. I'm thinking maybe what it comes down to is that they had the cash immediately on hand. Like because sometimes with these deals, it's so much money, they're like paying it out in chunks over time.
Gotcha.
They just told Tolkien estate, we'll just give you this immediately.
Yeah.
We got the chunk of change. Amazon's got its money tied up in God knows how many other places.
Mm-hmm.
And Jeff Bezos isn't super focused on this. Versus them, it seems like they really, really want it.
You know,
get Lord of the Rings.
Jeff Bezos is a nerd, a geek. There is no doubt about it. For the amount of money that he has tied up in this one show, he could have just bought the idea or launched his own version of the Sci-Fi Channel and just filled it with all kinds of really cool, neat stuff that sci-fi and fantasy fans want, and just do a better job than the current version of the Sci-Fi Channel that we have.
Well, Keith, there's one problem with all that will require that Jeff Bezos is creative, and he's not. He's a
well, you don't have to be creative. You just create a place for all that stuff to go.
Yeah.
No,
even
and
a lot of that
thoughts are creative ones.
Well, I mean, a lot of this property, as what David Zaslav has been saying, there's a lot of stuff out there that's just sitting in vaults. A lot of this stuff that's already been created is just sitting there, and it's not making any money. And what makes Zaslav a kind of genius in a way is that his whole thing is, why should it be collecting dust? Why not just put it out there? Why not just, if I can make even just a little bit of money off of something, go ahead and do it. Because it doesn't do you any good if it's sitting there. Right. And I'm totally down with that thought. Again,
Keith, I think what it comes down to is that all these other people have gotten lazy because they have these, big, huge conglomerate monopolies they've gotten. David Zaslav actually is doing work to make things probable. I'm dead fucking serious, because part of the whole streaming is the future is literally just because they don't want to be bothered making DVDs and saying network TV deals and all this other shit. They just want to make something, drop it on the streaming service, and forget about it and rake in money.
Well,
Well, I mean, remember back in the day when the Sci-Fi Channel was a real channel, and they would show
Yeah.
shows like limited series like Moonbase 3 from the BBC that was started by a bunch of people from Doctor Who. They'd show that they had their animation, the anime that started getting people really excited and interested and peaked in anime. They were such a wonderful. We need something like that again.
Well, and again, that's remembering, kind of like asking people, do you remember back when MTV actually showed music videos? I'm just. This is
A funny thing about that on YouTube, there's a thing that shows all they show is like 80s commercials, and they had a bunch of commercials from MTV back in about 1983. And the one thing that amazed me is they had a commercial promoting a new video. Tune in tomorrow at 9:00 Central for this video, and here's a little taste of it. And it's like, people don't understand that how big a thing that was.
Yeah, it was all just well done, and I think they could make a lot of money doing it again. But who am I? I'm just some guy on YouTube, Yeah.
We all. No, I agree, and basically, like, we need another generation of executives to basically just come and kick the ass of this current lazy one.
You mean somebody like Zaslav?
Yeah, no, Zaslav's old. I'm saying we need almost like Robert Evan levels. Like, get me the fucking money. I'll do tons of cocaine, bang 12 broads. We'll get these deals fucking done.
Can I volunteer for that job? I mean, just pay me in hookers and blow. Just kidding, CC and Mom. Sorry.
Chancla inbound.
Wait. When you stop digging the hole, don't stop digging it again.
No, I think I got it kind of wrong. Dorkner's got the Jeff Bezos look.
Well, Jeff Bezos does, look like Lex Luthor, so he pretty much is real life Lex Luthor.
Is.
By the way, I still find that odd. The guy that looks like Lex Luthor has produced all the TV shows where Superman is basically an evil dick.
Oh.
Huh? What?
Invincible,
Think about it.
Evil fucking Superman. The Boys, evil fucking Superman. The Tick, even. Turns out the Superman was an alien whose race is kind of evil.
Man, I don't know. I love The Boys, and that reminds me, Anima, if you're still with us, we got to get together and do our. I've got something exciting to tell you that has to do with The Boys that we can tie it into. Sorry. Anyway.
Well, let's go ahead and finish out this video.
Yeah.
Lovely Six getting us through the rest of this. Six, go ahead and take it away.
That actually made, I think, Embracer the perfect buyer of this, and also to integrate them into this group rather than this ended up elsewhere.
Yeah, so I think he's talking about Amazon when he says Embracer is the better choice rather than having it end up elsewhere. And maybe I'm reading into it, but
no, I think you're spot on, especially with all the backlash this new series has been getting from fans and all the ridiculousness. What was the story with the big girl with talking about this is going to be more modern and you guys know what I'm talking about?
You mean the lady that embarrasses herself when she talks about being the first one to play? Yeah. Even though she doesn't have a beard.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's most unfortunate because seriously, they could just digitally put a beard on her. Just go ahead and go for it because look, I know that there are some people out there going, it doesn't make a difference. It makes a difference if you've been reading these stories and you've grown up with them. And I know there are certain people out there that think, oh, you guys are just on and on about too much. But again,
good monkey.
Tolkien let everyone know what his feelings about any type of adaptation of his work were. It's not like he stayed silent. It's not like we have no idea what he thought. We know what he thought. The difference is that you had somebody with a lot of money who went out and got a bunch of scholars to say, You know what? We can interpret what he said a different way and make it mean whatever we want it to mean. Where's my check?
Well, we really don't know.
The problem is that's regular.
It depends on what the definition of the word is.
I mean, Tolkien never really left anything for us to really go off of, so we're going to go our own way here.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, there's a whole stack of books and
letters,
and letters,
I mean, yeah,
and recordings.
I mean, it couldn't be any plainer. It could not be any plainer what his thoughts are or how he thought of these characters. That's the other thing. This whole, well, we can interpret this character. No, you can't. He told you what the character was. He let it be known. You're just wanting to make changes because you want to make changes. And my thing is, if that's really what you believe, say that. Stand behind it and don't try to hide or lie your way out of it. Just say, hey, I would rather make the character like this because this is how I feel about it. And
it reminds me of when I was in high school in an English class and we were studying The Old Man and the Sea, a book by Ernest Hemingway. And my teacher, he had up on his podium, he had a bunch of quotes from Ernest Hemingway. And I don't know if we were waiting for class to start or we were on a break, but I was just kind of looking over the quotes. And there was a quote from Ernest Hemingway. And we've been doing this deep dive into this book and what it means and what it represents. And one of the quotes from Ernest Hemingway was, "The old man is an old man. The fish is a fish. The boat is a boat. It doesn't mean anything," or something like that. And I pointed that out after class started again. I raised my hand and I said, "Can you read quote number 17 or whatever it was?" Because I was trying to point out to this man that we're doing this deep dive into this book. And it's a good book. I won't deny that.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't have to mean something. It can just be a really cool story that can take us away from reality for a little bit.
Did the teacher appreciate that, or did they?
No.
Okay, I didn't think so.
I didn't think so either. Bruised ego time.
Yeah, right.
But one thing I do have to sit back and say is, look at that guy's face right now as he's talking about that. That is a pretty serious face, and like he was just thinking about something that he was disgusted by.
Well, that's because you're talking about a deal. This is for the shareholders. You're talking. You're discussing all these business deals, and you're talking about several $1 billion.
Well, also, I mean, to what Six is saying, I kind of think he is like, it's better here instead of that other place. Wink, wink, where they're not going to take good. So maybe that's where the look is coming from.
That is what I was trying to get. Yeah, thank you for clarifying that out better for me, because I think that's exactly what that look is.
He's being politically correct.
Yes,
he's being polite. He's being
diplomatic.
Yeah.
Oh, diplomatic. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Tactful.
So I've realized something.
Yes.
Those Tolkien scholars, they're all Alec Baldwin.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. If they admit to what they're actually doing, they can be charged and accused of it. But if they keep these lies up, then they get people caught up on just come on, just admit what you're actually doing. It's like, I didn't actually do this. This is all him. They can deflect.
And that brings our entire show full circle, everybody.
Yeah.
Good night.
Tolkien scholars are Alec fucking Baldwin. And they pulled the trigger. And they acted like they didn't.
See, everything ties in. It's like that circle, just like you said. It was like, what is that Chekhov had? The Chekhov had about, if you see a gun, it better be fired. If it's hanging on the wall, it's got to be.
So I've been watching the new season of Lock and Key with my kids. Has anybody else seen it?
I think I watched the pilot and I liked it. But that was a few seasons ago.
Season 3 just dropped, and wow, I was trying to be funny. This worked. Speaking of shooting,
Girl, good one.
Yes. Speaking of shooting, give Lock and Key a shot. It's actually really good, and now that season 3 is out, it's something you could binge if you were interested in it. But it's one of those shows. I was going to ask everybody this question because I find it interesting. Like, what do you watch when you're not watching something essentially for homework, because like people in the chat are like, why would you watch something like Picard? Well, because I had to for the Salty Nerd podcast. You know, I had no choice in the matter. Like, why do you watch the Orville? Well, because I had to for, you know, stuff like this. So like, right, Lock and Key is one of those shows that I'm watching with my kids and I'm enjoying, but I'm not talking about it anywhere. What do you guys watch that, that's like leisure? It's not homework. You know what I mean? Just curious. Like, if you had something to recommend that nobody's talking about.
Oh,
really,
I'll tell you right now. Star Trek.
Oh yeah. Well, that's always on my playlist.
Nice.
Well, no, Star Trek is TOS is Star Trek, right?
Oh, TOS. Sorry.
Yeah, TOS is Star Trek. It's Star Trek.
Yeah,
We say Star Trek.
You don't say Star Trek. If you just say Star Trek, that's what he means. Is the TOS.
Yeah. It's only Star Trek because there's only one Star Trek. Everything else has additional words.
Yeah, Star Trek : Enterprise, Star Trek.
Yeah, it's called. It's
Space
all
Nine,
the Star Trek :
Star Trek : The Next Generation. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
And boy, the latest editions of Star Trek have definitely come out of the colon.
Well, no, all the new Star Trek is Star Trek :
Well, does anybody else? That was funny. Well, does anybody else have something maybe like that's streaming
I
now?
I recommend Banshee, which you can watch on HBO Max. It stars Anthony Starr of The Boys, and it's basically a modern day Western. And it's him having lots of sex with a lot of beautiful women and beating the shit out of a lot of guys. It's awesome.
Like Peaky Blinders. Do you guys anybody ever watch Peaky Blinders? I never seen anybody talk about that.
I've seen clips from it, and I eventually want to start that.
It's really good. I love it. I haven't finished the last season yet because I don't have time because all the homework.
You know what? For me, I think I would tell people to watch Warrior if you can find that. And then if you haven't seen it yet, Jack Reacher is worth your time.
Okay.
Because it is so good.
That's on Amazon, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that is on my watch list. Yeah.
And the Tomorrow War, because it's sci-fi fun is what that movie is. And the reason why I talk about it is they're going to do a sequel. So
the Tomorrow War.
Yeah, it's worth your time. Oh my goodness, is it worth your time? And then
Chris Pratt. Okay, I don't know why I had missed that because I really liked that series he just did.
Bill, good one. Pennyworth. Yeah. Season 3 is about ready to start.
Haven't seen it? Avatar: The Last Airbender, the cartoon.
Oh yeah,
the first one.
Yeah, the animated series is great.
Yeah, yeah, I watched that a long time ago. But
it's called Warrior.
Watch
and Person of Interest.
Person of Interest. HBO Max is currently streaming all 5 seasons, so I highly recommend it. Check it out. It's very good.
Okay, so let's finish this.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah. Sorry. I was
out.
just trying to get us off Alec Baldwin. So anyway.
Okay, here we go.
So I think with the strategy of Embracer, we are sometimes, I wouldn't call it a preferred buyer, but I would say it's a bit easier to make transactions.
So I wouldn't call us the preferred buyer, but we're definitely the preferred buyer.
Yeah, I believe it.
I think that might be. Hold on, let me just finish this.
There's a lot of other relationships that could be very complex sometimes.
There've been a lot.
Yeah, so that was pretty much it for that.
It sounds like he's talking about because they have this company Embracer seems to have their finger in so many different pies that it sounds like they were saying more money could be made in many different avenues with us more so than wherever else you could sell it. And if you think about it, let's say they make one like a mobile game, like a licensed mobile game with microtransactions. Oh my God. I mean, like, I don't even want to admit how much I spend in microtransactions on the different stupid games I play. It's embarrassing.
So they basically have your number potentially.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He's a mark.
Yeah.
It's all good. Look, all of us are fans of something. And a lot of these mega companies, corporations, they know it. They know eventually they're going to hit on something that we're just going to sit there and go, yeah, take all my money.
Oh yeah. No, they had me when Six was started showing the clip, and they had the AEW logo. I'm a huge wrestling fan. They had me at that. I was like, oh, I love this. Is great. I don't know him. I don't know him, but I love him. It's like,
there's nothing wrong with that, man. You are just swimming in your fandom, man. Just love it, man.
I bet it's a stinky one too. If you go live, wouldn't it be stinky? Well, but I guess cons are stinky. Comic-Con is not.
Well,
good smelling.
I think that personally, I think you would do well to actually get into the habit of just handing out free bars of soap, and or
spray deodorant,
Axe body spray, stuff like that.
No.
Hey, if it's good enough for Tony Stark.
No.
Not to put too fine a point on it, but if you want to make a bioweapon, like Comic-Con would be the perfect place to incubate it.
Wow, why would you even throw that out there?
And it's probably
because he can.
I mean, the funk is real. The funk is real, and
because half the cons that I've been to, invariably me or someone I know gets terribly sick immediately after because there's so many people in such close proximity. Doesn't matter. Shit's gonna spread.
Yeah, and yeah.
Con crud is real.
Yes, yeah, but that's what really having lots of hand sanitizer and.
How did we get on this weird subject?
And don't make out with people just because you're bored.
I think it's Shinatsky's fault.
Well, actually, Six, I was agreeing with you up until you said that. No, I mean, that's the best thing. That's the best part.
That's never really come up.
I'm sorry. I'm part of a carousel. We're working these kinds of things out.
Oh, my God. All right. And you were worried about pausing the clips every 10 seconds.
Hey, I mean, here I am. I'm stroking my wiener on the stream. I mean, if
what a bump. Well, everybody, we are. I think we've reached the end of the show today. We got like a couple minutes. Do you not? Has nobody seen She-Hulk, or just nobody interested in talking about She-Hulk for a second? I have yet to see She-Hulk.
Oh, you have yet to see it. Okay.
Kind of interested in watching at least the first, and then deciding whether or not to go on. But obviously, it seems to have entertained you, and that's cool.
I would give it 2 episodes because you only see actually like I think it's only like 5 minutes of what the show's actually going to be, because most of it is 20 minutes of it is her origin story. Mm-hmm. And I think it's very well done, and I don't want to spoil anything for you, but I know that Six, I listened to her, she did not enjoy it. So on another show you said that, right?
On Midnight's Edge After Dark. And I think it was Script Doctor who said that the pilot, it's more like a prologue. And Tom was saying that maybe they should have dropped more than just the 1 episode. And I'm going to watch the pilot again, because honestly, I was so up Embracer Group's butt when that show was. I had to force myself to watch it for me that night.
Oh, okay.
When I was the one who was screaming, we have to watch it, we have to review it. I think that I'm going to give the pilot another try, but I'm going to wait until the next episode drops so I can watch 2.
I think that's a good idea.
I'll need like a chaser.
For
the pilot,
because
give it more context.
Because that whole origin story was originally supposed to be in episode 8, but they thought it would be better to get it out of the way first. Plus, you top load it with Mark Ruffalo, but some people seem to not like that decision. But I actually thought it was very well done, and I recommend people give it a chance. But it might be a good idea to wait till the second episode comes out so you can watch them both.
I had no interest in this version of She-Hulk just from all the clips I've seen people post.
Mm-hmm.
Just that the layout of that fight scene, where it's like I can barely tell what the hell's going on because the camera angles are so bad.
They're trying to hide the crappy CGI and the.
You know what? I'm a fan of Tatiana Maslany. I think she's an incredibly talented actress.
She's great, and she has great chemistry with Mark Ruffalo. They feel like, I mean, it reminds me of a relationship I had with my cousin. So it's like they have very good familial chemistry.
Okay,
which I like a lot.
That makes it go a little higher on there. I'm definitely let's see, Retro Nerd Girl. I enjoyed the first episode. Heard that it gets better. That's what I'm hearing. Let's see. Yeah, I keep seeing.
Chris Gore was a
haters.
fan.
Oh, he was.
My impression
Mhm.
for it
Okay,
is
Bill.
that the
That's cool.
series will fluctuate between bad, decent, and good, but will never get to the terribly good or terribly bad territory. It looks like this is just kind of safe.
Yeah. The Captain America being a virgin, not being a virgin, was a big turnoff for me because it almost seemed like she was trying to make it cool that she wanted to pop his cherry, and it just kind of grossed me out.
Oh, it
How
just seemed to me like she
interested
was. It seemed like she was just fangirling over, like, oh my God, Captain America. No, please, because at the end, see, I don't want to spoil stuff. Never mind. Anyway.
Yeah.
So that sounds egotistical, actually. Like, oh, I'm going to get to be the one that pops Captain Cherry. I'm like, I'm sorry, but Tony has already done that for you.
And Tom said if the genders were reversed on that, if it was a man talking about, ooh, is she or isn't she a virgin? Hell, heads would roll. That would never happen.
I mean, come on. We were just talking about John Hughes movies earlier. I mean, that happened all the time.
Yeah.
Oh God, I'd love it if that was
different time.
Namor talking about how he was going to de-virginize all the women of Wakanda.
Is that olive oil? Is that virgin or not?
And with that,
right? Okay, I'm almost sorry I brought that.
Namor likes his women like he likes his olive oil, extra virgin.
Oh gosh.
Well,
I say give it a chance.
And truly with that, I just want to first of all thank everyone in our chat. Let's see. I want to thank Peter Venkman Fansite, Zax, Miss Anima Confusa, Marshall, Monkey, Jeebus. Let's see. Who else? Retro Nerd Girl.
The list is on the private chat.
It's in there.
Thank you.
Yeah. But to piggyback off that while he's looking for the list, 63 likes. Thank you guys. I'd be curious to know when a lot of those people dipped out, because I have a feeling it was during the second segment. I'm just kidding.
So, Dork, are you
When I
upset
open my mouth
because you want to take Steve Rogers' virginity?
I didn't bring it up. Whoever said that, I didn't bring that up. That was her that brought that up.
I guess I'm sorry.
She guesses. Let's see. Baked Bean, Bill Barkley, Black Eyes, Captain Phantom Nerd, Cavatino Cavalryman, CC, Mr. Christopher Carroll, Das Wolfen, Dr. Dragon, Diane Olsen, Gap After Dark, Courtney. Hello, Courtney. James Ritter, Keela Chow, King's Portal, Latino Slant. Hello, Polly. Of course, Marshall, Mighty Max, Monkey Jeebus, Nathan, Pat S, Penny. Hey, Penny. Retro Nerd Girl, Sarah, Scribe Light, the lovely Sherry. Of course, Peter Vinkman, Tim Talk, War Monkey, and Zax. And of course, Martin, the lovely Six, Deleted Scenes, Shanatsky. Got my eye on you, Shanatsky. Baron Ormontag. And of course, Danny, a.k.a. Dork Knight.
The bald one.
The bald one. Oh, that sounded too close to Baldwin 6. I don't like that. No.
I did that on
purpose. I am Keith.
Yes.
This has been Saturday Morning Fun Time. Enjoy yours.
Hey guys, thanks for watching Pop Culture Minefield. If you've enjoyed the show, please make sure to like, subscribe, and don't forget to click the bell
Dark
icon
Knight,
for
however, is
updates
not
on our
a
shows and channel.
He's not?
Also, please leave a comment. And we'd like to know what you thought of the episode, as well as letting us know if there's something you'd like us to cover in a future episode. Don't forget that you can become a member of Pop Culture Minefield now. Make sure to visit our membership page and merch store at popcultureminefield.com. You can always find Pop Culture Minefield on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitch.
Really talk about seeking validation.
You know, I think everybody giving me grief for the bald head in the chat is just jealous that this was a choice.
You know, you're going to start a new look.
It's a choice of your gender.
See? Dork is an inspirational story. If he can get laid, so can you.
There we go. And we didn't drive Eve crazy. That's impressive.
Dork is one of those people I look at and think, how am I single?
Y'all come back now. You hear?